Howdy and welcome back. Today I'm going to be talking about having enemy scaling and variety in the sprite selection. So as you see right now, I have 6 enemies in my room. They're all presently static, but they're the 6 same enemies using my Goliath sprite. My character, of course, is a little tank. Our goal today is to provide variety with our enemies by using code rather than having to create separate objects. So let's go ahead and jump in and see how we can do that. I'm inside the create event for my Goliath, my enemy object. You may have it called something different. I'm just calling mine Goliath. Let me scale this up properly and maximize font size for y'all. Okay, so this is what we're going to do. You probably should have a variable relating to your enemy speed for those of you that have already implemented the movement for your enemy. Some value related to health, 3. And so that gets everything set up. Now we're going to choose select sprite. When I have sprite underscore index simply be equal to a choice between my S Goliath and my S cross sprites. It will randomly pick one or the other, and we'll have that as our sprite. To make sure the collision mask works correctly, be certain that on the left side, your collision mask is the same as a sprite. So that way, if you choose a Goliath, it uses the Goliath's collision mask. If you use the cross, use the cross collision mask. And if you've got 10 different options for sprites for your enemies, it chooses the correct collision mask based off of its sprite. Now, I need to randomize my scale. The scale is going to be a variable that we have that references or pulls from a couple of different options. We can either have what I'm going to do a 0.5 scale, a half size enemy, 1 scale, the default size for our enemy, 2 and 3. 2 representing twice the size of our default enemy and 3 being 3 times the size. You, of course, can have as many or as few options as you'd like. These are just some of the numbers that I picked. We could also use a randomizer, randomize an integer or randomize a value. I'm just picking choose because I want them to be specifically this scale, either exactly half, 1, 2, or 3. Now that we've got that, apply the scale. We can achieve this by making sure image x scale is times equals its current scale. We can also just set it equal to, that would also work. So if I have 0.5, image x scale is multiplied by 50%, or it's just assigned to 50%. I'm going to have image underscore y scale also be times equal to scale. You can also just set it equal to x scale, or just set it equal to scale. Same end result, the math all works the same. By default, these are both 1. This will get the sprite to be the correct size. Now that we have the sprite size applied, the last 2 parts are, if you have health implemented in somewhat way, shape, or form, times equals scale. That means the smaller health enemies will have only 1.5 hit points. The default will have 1. The larger ones will have 2 times the health, and the largest one will have 3 times the health. Then finally, enemy speed is divide equals scale. I want the larger the enemy is, the slower it moves. The largest enemy will have its speed of 6 divided by 3, meaning it only moves 2. 2 means that it moves 3. 1 means it moves its full 6. And the half-size enemy actually has double the speed. 6 divided by 0.5 gives it 12. And so if we were to run this, we can see in the room, right now it's just going to show the scaling for the X and Y sizes. And so you can see we have a random collection of the Goliaths versus the cross sprites, as well as these look default sizes. I think this is the ×2 size. In this case, no 0.5 or 3s were randomly chosen. But in this situation, with how we've implemented the code, we now have a reliable way using the code for it to randomize a couple of details about our enemy. You can use the same logic, apply the choose. Again, maybe you don't want any other sprites. Maybe you have a ton of sprites. It works out either way. Scaling, you can choose however many you want. You can even modify it. Maybe you want more at the default size, such as in this case, half of them should be the default size, and then the other half will be split amongst the non-standard ones. In this case, maybe I want more Goliaths. I have S Goliath twice. This will double the frequency of the Goliath in respect to how often I see it cross. Now, again, it's random. You never know how it's going to end up turning out, but it should, with large enough sample size, be reflective of where the statistically more likely values would be. So this is definitely a ×2 one. This is a ×1. I think these are actually ×1. I believe my sprite for the cross is actually very small. This might be a ×2 for the cross. This is definitely a ×3. So we get a nice large scale. It's possible this is a 0.5. Not positive. I don't remember exactly how it works. That might actually be a 0.5. This would probably be a 1. So 0.5, 1, 0.5, ×2, and ×3. I don't have them moving currently, but logically, assuming you have a move towards function using the enemy speed, this should work fine so long as you plug this in to that argument. Otherwise, that's all I've got for today. If you have any questions or need any assistance, just let me know in class. Everyone have a good one.